We're going to try to create, first to have reporting of individual plans at each table, but then to try to come up with some commonalities.
Liz?
Now,
Okay.
try to come up with some commonalities about a broader plan that we may be able to think about for the members of this workshop as a working group, and not simply as members of either individual tables or members of their own institutions. And I lost track of where Jim had started last time, which group started at which point, so I'm going to start with the plan that is closest to me in terms of action plans from table to table, and then we'll come back and think about commonalities, not voting in the same way because the papers are a lot more complex, but thinking about who a priority audience would be and what the priority resources we would need, etc. So, is there a spokesman for the middle table here? Recognizing that everyone has had the opportunity to speak multiple times now. Please.
Okay, so this is the action plans that we propose. For first questions about who would be the audience for for training, yeah. So we decided that these three members from universities, research institutions, and also from policymakers should involve in the training, because as we know that for regulations, how to regulate something that have related with science. So it is actually contained two kind of languages, different languages, scientific language and regulation or policy languages, and it is very difficult to combine. So it's very important if for the next training maybe we can include together people from academia, from researchers, and also from policymakers, so we can make or combine our languages, our thinking, our opinion together. So this is for number one. And second, about resources that we need. First, about trainers, because I don't know, maybe I think this is still maybe new idea in Indonesia. So for trainers, we need trainers and also materials, but I think for materials we can try to adopt from materials that already present, and we can develop in Indonesia. Maybe we can try to use Bahasa Indonesia for train Indonesian people, because in our opinion that we deliver in our language. So I believe that it will be very easier to people to get the main of ideas about what we have to deliver to them. This is about the materials or models, and also facility. For training, we need a venue and something like that. So facility is very important, and also funding support. Number three, about the content essential for making training. This is regarding to our discussions. IP. This is we hope that maybe IP could be in here. In this case, could be advisory. So which means that, for example, if we want to help or conduct such a training. Maybe actually training could be the implementator here. We wrote here universities and research institutions, which means that universities or research institutions actually can help such a training or workshop about responsible science of conduct. But because of we still, maybe this is still new, or maybe universities who want to first time conduct the workshop or training, so they have no idea about who people could train, who people could be the resources for the guest speaker for the training, something like that. So maybe they can come to IP to ask for the advice about the materials that we have to deliver during the workshop or training, and then who become the trainer or something like that. So in here, IP, in our discussions, regarding to our discussions, IP become the advisory level. The implementators is universities and research institutions, so which means that implementators is institutions that help training or workshop itself. And also regulator agency is actually the same with what my previous explanations, that it is also very important because now Indonesia also still don't have the regulation about responsible conduct of science that can support the code of conduct that already established by IP. This is number 3, and 4th, the challenge that we face executing our plans. We think that the sustainability, this is maybe the first challenge. So it means like the trainers, because yeah, actually the same case that it's still new, maybe still new knowledge. So not many trainers local trainers. So from Indonesia itself, we still have not many people who could be trainer for responsible conduct of science training. So this is the problems that we face and how to overcome. So we just propose that maybe there is any training of trainer. So maybe people from here someday, if we I don't know, maybe people in here could be for the future or the further steps could be trained specifically for to be next trainers. So for the next maybe workshop, maybe several people from here could be the trainers in the further workshop. This is trainers, and the second one about funding. And for funding, how we overcome is by try to propose the proposal activities. Could be outside, for example, from WHO, from US State Department, something like that, and from inside, such as DICTY, I think. So yeah, that's all. Maybe my friends could add something, or is enough? Okay, that's all from our groups. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a microphone here? Yes.
So as Jim pointed out before, if we go through the entire presentation for each table, then those who are left at the end have to be extra creative to have something that someone hasn't already mentioned, for which we apologize because we are aiming for both lists and some consensus at the end. There will be repetition, and repetition will be good because we'll have a sense that everyone is in agreement on particular points. I'm going to go for this table here so that I can then add additional materials. I've written what you've said up on this platform as well, and if we can have this presentation. Oh, red is very hard to see from the back. Let me go back to
Okay, thank you. Our group has identified 3 action plans.
action plan was the very last one.
Okay.
So the first one is curriculum improvement for life sciences, and then the second one is workshops for education institutes of responsible science, and then the third one is website for RCS. So these are the action plan, and then thanks for the flip charts that have been put on the titles of each question. The first one is about audience. The audiences are university students and faculties in life sciences, in medicine, pet medicine, public health, pharmacy, life sciences, and also dentistry. And then the necessary resources for these 3 action plans we propose to have an institutions will be as a vehicle. So that's IP. Hopefully that can be, add on their portfolio to take this responsibility. And the funding is from the external sources. We have identified several of those: USAID, WHO, and also later on from the government of Indonesia through the Ministry of Education and Science Research and Higher Education. And then the human resources, we can seek the human resources from international arena as well as national experts. And then, the contact or stakeholders are universities, of course, because this is the big population that we are targeting. And the challenges is classic about funding. And the second one is gain of function, so or dual of research. So this is the challenges. And the facilitating factors, we have identified two major ones. One is the university networks and the like, if there are other university networks like Indonesia. And then WHO Southeast Asia Regional Training Center for Health Research that is based in Gajah Mada University. So we can put more facilitating factors. So I think that's all the three major action plans.
Before you sit down, would you say something about on your action plan, or website? What are you thinking about with regard to a website?
Yes, we are thinking about to improve the IP website so that this is a platform for everybody as the audience to get the resources like materials, educational materials, case studies, and we can communicate to each other in that website as a platform for communication.
I think in these days, putting a website together, especially if there is a single location where someone wants to do it, is a very easy way of getting information out. And many people look immediately to see, is there a website? So if there's not a website, maybe something doesn't exist. That's younger people, but, so Alice, you're check.
You have a physicist in your group, but all of your target audiences are medicine, dentistry, life sciences. Are physics, chemistry exempt from what you're trying to do?
Yes, we discussed about that issue and we recognize that since all of the participants, majority of the participants are from life sciences, so we're concerned about it. But of course, later on, we need to expand on other sciences. In the IP, we recognize the Commission for Medical Science as one of the arms in the IP. And I think IP has other arms to facilitate other sciences, of course.
I think several people have pointed out how important interdisciplinary work is. And even in this session, we've seen how different disciplines recognize the importance of common approaches to responsible science and common approaches to education. So maybe things start in individual disciplines at the beginning, but then merging into more interdisciplinary is straightforward. So how about the table of the crowd in the back? We have art in this one.
Okay, I represent Group 5, and we have a diagram on what action plan we are going to do. It's simple, so I'll try to explain as simple and as meaning as I can do. We are, at the moment, at the current present time, so we assume that this first workshop is a pre-workshop for other series of workshops just happening in the future. So at this present workshop, we have the source from the international who has the capability of teaching us in the way we should be teaching other trainees. And we have the fundings from international and local fundings from this workshop. Also, downwards, we have series of workshops which have audience from number one for lecturers, researchers, industries who has different kind of backgrounds, and the sources will come also from the local, international still, which is then disseminated into several TOTs or trainings of trainers and with local resources and local fundings, and then these will then teach many other workshops and other trainings. The challenges we find is one, commitment, and second, funding, and third is human resource, and also the fourth would be networking. I think this will be enough. Thank you very much.
Would you say something, please, a little bit more about, if I heard the word correctly, commitment? What does that mean? Because I think that is a challenge. I would like to add something to it, depending on what else you say.
Okay. Commitment means that when we receive the workshop and then we have the responsibility to further on teach other trainees to do this, then we must commit to it. And we don't have to, we don't just run away in the middle of the day. We have to do it until the end.
So that is a problem in any academic endeavor, any new project. How many of you have work that you're not doing to be here? Everybody. So commitment and time. Because whenever you take a new thing on, something else has to move over. And this is particularly true in academic curriculum development. If you're going to add a new material into the curriculum, something has to drop out or the students say it's too much. And figuring out the commitment. But I like that word. That's a good word for talking about the big picture. Thank you. Okay, table beside. We're going to leave the group of educators.
No,
Are you all
here, this.
We're the last ones. You're right, I'm sorry. So, yes.
Because we are the last group, maybe we just summarize all of the explanation of the group, right? Okay, first, who will be the audience? We propose more stakeholders should be involved, like scientist community. Not only the scientists as individuals, but we have to involve the community of scientists. And then higher education institutions. So not only GM or UI or UNER, but we have to select which one of the higher education institution should be involved here, because they have like a roadmap in their institution. Maybe they have the roadmap to conduct the responsible science. So we have to identify which one is should be involved. And then also the research institutions, like the third group state, and then journal editors. We have a board of journal editors, or the community of journal editors should be involved in this also. And then also the most important is government. Even though I'm at Ibu Arsita here as a government, but we are here not as a government, so we have to involve officially the government, like Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education, and then Ministry of Health, or maybe Bappenas as the planning board, and then the legislative. Because in Indonesia, legislative is House of Representatives. So the public will channel their voice to this board. So if we have informed them in the first stage, we can easily advocate the importance of responsible neuroscience. And then the professional organization. Why we put them here? Because they have their own ethical codes for each profession. So we have to harmonize the ethical codes of each profession with the responsible conduct of science that we have that we should be followed. And then what resources? The main point is about the capacity building. Not only the trainers, the capacity building from the trainers, and then for the one who will be trained, and then the module or the learning materials should be adopted or should be developed according to the needs of each participants, to the needs of each country, and then the financial support. Financial usually become the main problems, but if we can advocate them properly, we can get enough money easily. Okay, and then will be the trainers or the contact essentials in our group. We have IP, we have Royal Netherlands, and we get the commitment from them. If we want to do another training, they will support us. And then from Ministry of Research and Technology, we have some specific directorate who is responsible for this kind of activity. So IP and Morte can have collaborations. Maybe the ministry will support from the financial side, and then the IP will prepare the substantial side, so we can collaborate each other. And then the main challenge is the culture change, or we can say the shifting paradigms in us about what is the responsible conduct of science, the culture of responsible culture itself. So this is about how to make people understand about the shifting paradigms. This main challenge actually, not only for the expert. From me, I'm a very beginner person here. It's very important to understand what is the benefit for me, for us, about the responsible conduct of science. So the culture is the main problem. And then, because they didn't understand yet, so this kind of very important thing is not become a priority here. Yeah. So if we want to make it as a priority, we have to make them understand, especially for the government. And how to make them understand, we have to explain with the very simple way. Because my boss in ministry always say, can you explain me in the very simple way, not with the technical how things or something. In the simple way, please explain me and then make me understand. So that's our challenge from the scientists, how to make it understand by the other people in the very simple way. And then the lack of data for the case study that our group proposed before, that we have to make case studies with our own data, a valid data. Yeah. And then the last one is the lack of regulation. That because we are the government group, so yeah, we understand that there is a very lack of regulation. And then what we have to do, first of all, we must increase the awareness. How to increase the awareness? First of all, we have to disseminate and then to socialize this kind of things to all the stakeholders, especially to the government, because they will taking care of this that we have written. Thank you.
Liz, they're done.
Sorry, we were discussing